because you need to know what was going
Ihr
on.
habt ja mitgeschrieben, ihr könnt es ja vorstellen.
Huh?
You want to get Andrew going to do it. You're good at it.
Alright, bring it together, guys.
Okay, so now we will have one person report for the group,
Jetzt berichtet eine Person aus jeder Gruppe.
and everybody else, please listen because you would need to know what was going on in those chapters.
Und ihr anderen, bitte passt auf, damit ihr dann auch mitbekommt, was in jenen anderen Kapiteln vor sich ging.
So group number one, you had Numbers 11.
Gruppe Nummer 1, ihr hattet 4. Mose 11.
So now could you please report and answer these questions?
Könnt ihr uns davon erzählen, wie ihr diese Fragen beantwortet habt?
Yes, and so how I want you to do that, please summarize the whole story that is there, so others would know what's going on, okay?
Fasst ganz kurz die gesamte Geschichte zusammen, damit die anderen ein Verständnis dazu haben, was da passiert ist.
Okay.
Beginnen.
Yes, please.
Do you need translation, sir?
I tried it in English. So our part takes place when the Israelites are in the desert, and they are complaining that they get no meat, and then the Lord is sending the birds. How they call it in English? Quails. How? Quails. Quails. He's sending the quails from heaven. Do you remember this part? So first question, who is complaining? So the Israelites are complaining 2 times. First of all, they're complaining because of their problems, and then they are complaining because they have no meat to eat. And God is getting very angry, and then he sets a fire on the rim of their camp. And when they are complaining for the second time, he's sending so much quails that there's 1 meter high of quails in a circle. Yeah, 1 meter. Yeah, 1 meter. In like a circle of 40 kilometers. Moses is when they are complaining first and the Lord gets angry, he's begging the Lord to stop the fire and not destroying them. And then after the second time, he's done with the Israelites and is so angry and frustrated and complains about the Israelites and the Lord. So he's depressive, maybe. And how many died? That's not clear. It says that all of them who eat the birds, or the quails, they died, but it doesn't say how many will die. And we didn't understand why they died, so maybe one of you know. But it's just that as they put the meat in their mouth, they died. I don't know why. Maybe you have an answer. And we can learn that it's not good to make the Lord angry, and that He will listen to our prayers. So even if we're complaining and begging Him all the time, He may respond in another way. So we sollen ihn ernst nehmen.
Should take him serious.
Take him serious. Is that everything?
Yes, thank you. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, God has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right, to the questions, okay, why there's the Israelites. I asked Mark yesterday, and he told us one of the first law, if God sent the manna from heaven, he said, hey, collect just so many that for 1 day, and he collects, I think, 10 säcke packs, I don't know, and maybe that's the reason that they died. So that was Mark.
First of all, it says that they were greedy, so that was first thing. Maybe they were so greedy they just were eating not to. When they are hungry, you eat, you eat, and then you are not hungry, you don't eat more. But they were so greedy they ate even more.
Das heißt ja, dass sie das Maul nicht voll gekriegt haben. Dass sie also über den Hunger hinaus gegessen haben. Und vielleicht lag es daran.
Okay. And the other explanation can be that maybe they didn't follow the laws how to eat meat. Maybe there was still blood. Maybe this was the reason.
Es kann auch sein, dass sie irgendeine Vorschrift nicht beachtet haben, wie sie Fleisch essen sollten. Vielleicht haben sie es mit dem Blut verzehrt oder es könnte auch sein, dass da so ein Grund bestand.
But we see that God was not okay that they are complaining. It was not the. It wasn't the reason they were hungry. They were just complaining.
Was wir aber klar sehen ist, Gott hatte kein Problem damit, dass sie Hunger hatten. Aber wie sie darüber gemurrt haben, das war das Problem.
Okay. Anybody would like to add anything?
Well, basically what they're saying is, God, you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're telling God he's wrong. You know, they're really running, you know, attacking the hand that's feeding them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, next group. Next group had the passage in chapter 12.
Die nächste Gruppe hatte eine Textstelle aus Kapitel 12. Das möchte ich auch.
Also es ist die Textstelle, wo es darum geht, dass Miriam und Aaron sich sozusagen nicht wirklich beschweren, aber sie behaupten, dass sie genauso prophetisch reden würden wie Mose, und daraufhin wird Miriam sozusagen aussätzig, als sie vor das Zelt Gottes kommt, und wird für 7 Tage aussätzig.
So it's a passage where Miriam and Aaron don't necessarily complain, but they say that they have the same authority as Moses. And so a consequence is then when Miriam comes to the tent of meeting that she becomes leprous, or she has some kind of skin disease for 7 days.
Genau. Ja, also was sagt Gott dazu?
What does God say about this?
Er sagt direkt, hey, ich rede mit Mose direkt und persönlich.
He replies to them, with Moses I speak face to face, I speak personally.
Und mit allen anderen Propheten rede ich über Träume und Visionen.
To other prophets I speak through dreams and visions.
Moses' Reaktion dazu ist erstmal, er hört sich das alles an, die komplette Debatte.
Moses' reaction seems to be that he just listens to the whole debate going on.
Und erst als Aaron ihnen anfleht, hey, bitte doch Gott, dass er das wieder wegnimmt, erst dann bittet er Gott darum.
And only at the point when Aaron begs him, please pray to God that he takes away the sickness from our sister, that's when he then speaks with God. He prays to God for her.
Wie viele Leute sterben? Gar keiner. Miriam wird halt aussätzlich für 7 Tage lang.
How many people die? None. But Miriam has the skin disease for 7 days.
Was lernen wir über Gott daraus?
What can we learn about God?
Er entscheidet, hey, zu wem redet er? Persönlich und direkt.
God decides to whom he speaks personally, directly.
Wann er vergibt.
When he forgives.
Aber er ist auch gnädig und trotzdem straft er auch so zur gleichen Zeit. Also er straft und aber ist gnädig zur gleichen Zeit.
God is merciful, but at the same time he also punishes.
Habe ich irgendwas vergessen?
Did I forget anything?
And also we can learn about God that He hears the prayers. Right?
Was wir da auch über Gott lernen, ist, dass er auf Gebete hört.
Even though they were guilty, Moses was interceding for her.
Obwohl
So prayer intercession is important.
die beiden wirklich schuldig waren, hat Mose für sie Fürbitte getan. Und das zeigt, Fürbittegebet ist.
Thank you. Next group. So that was chapter 16.
Die nächste Gruppe hat Kapitel 16 angeschaut.
And here we need to explain the difference between chapters 3. The German translation.
Da müsst ihr jetzt ein bisschen aufpassen, wenn ihr den Bibelstellen folgt. Das ist auf Englisch und auf Deutsch ein bisschen unterschiedlich, wo Kapitel 17 anfängt und aufhört. Das ist seltsam. Aber da unterscheidet sich die englische und die deutsche Bibelversion. Kannst du damit da wechseln?
We just learned it out.
We'll just make it happen. I'm going to tell you all a story. We'll go from there.
Okay, wenn ihr Deutsch sprechen, also die Versangaben hört, dann seid euch bewusst, das kann in eurer Bibel anders sein. Nur so.
So in the English Bible, it's the first portion of the story is from 16 and from verse 1 until 35. And basically what happens, do you want to translate me or am I good? Okay, just checking. And so basically what happens is that Korah comes and stirs up the people, along with 3 other people, Dathan, Abiram, and On, and 250 followers. And Korah makes the statement that Moses doesn't have the right to act greater than the rest of God's people. And when Moses tries to confront the other 3 people, they state that basically Moses promised that God will bring them to a land that was rich, and instead they're going to die in the wilderness. So Moses gets really angry and talks to God, and basically says, don't accept the offerings that they bring. But at the same time, a few verses later, we see that Moses is actually advocating for the whole community and asks God only to punish the people who are directly involved with the complaining. So then there's this little standoff at the tabernacle, and the Lord opens up the ground, and it swallows everyone who brought the first complaints to God, and the earth opened and ate them all.
And their families
and their families and possessions and houses. And then, a few verses later in the English Bible, starting at verse 41, I'm not sure what it is in the German Bible, basically where the people come back to Moses and say that God is killing God's own people, and are very angry about it. And so God says, thank you. And so the Lord says to Moses, like, get away so I can instantly destroy all of them. But Aaron and Moses again advocate for the people, and God sends a plague that starts throughout the nation, but Aaron goes through with incense and purifies them, and then a ton of them die, but not everybody. Yay, long story. So, complaining was Korah, Dathan, Abiram, On, and then the 250 followers. And then in the second portion, it was the whole community that was complaining. What God was saying was, basically in both accounts, God told Moses and Aaron to step away so that he could destroy everyone. And Moses, in the first account, advocated, was angry with the people, but also advocated for the entire nation. And also in the second one, he purified the people so that they all died. Well, he sent Aaron to purify the people. And then how many died? So there was 250 followers that died. There was also the 4 leaders. And then there was 14,700 people that died in the second account. And so in total, if I do math right, that's 14,954 people. If I did math right. And from this we can learn that God is sovereign. Basically, God will not tolerate being misrepresented by his people. And God's justice is supreme. And that God does actually speak to Moses. That was also true. You guys want to add anything?
Would you like to add anything? So what else they can learn about God here, that Moses was not doing anything wrong or Aaron. So they were doing only what God was telling them to do, and they were doubting their leadership. Right?
Was wir auch hier sehen können, Mose und Aaron haben nichts getan, außer dem, was Gott ihnen aufgetragen hat. Aber nichts Falsches gemacht, aber das Volk vertraute ihrer Leiterschaft nicht.
So we could come to the conclusion or get this principle that you cannot mess up or doubt God's leadership, right?
Man könnte also zum Schluss kommen, dass man Gottes Leitungsperson nicht in Frage stellen darf.
But we need to be careful with this principle then.
Aber mit so einem Prinzip muss man ganz vorsichtig sein.
If we know that there is God appointed this leader, and if that person is doing everything right, we can disagree with that person, but it doesn't mean that he does something wrong. Understand? If God appointed a leader,
Wenn Gott jemanden eine Führungsposition gebracht hat
and we know that that's God who appointed,
und wir wissen, dass es Gott war,
and we can disagree with them with something because we can have our opinion, but it doesn't mean that they do something wrong.
dann können wir mit ihnen nicht übereinstimmen, aber es heißt nicht unbedingt, dass sie was Falsches tun.
So my point is, we can disagree with leaders, but we need to be careful.
Was ich damit sagen möchte, ist, es ist absolut okay, anderer Meinung zu sein und mit jemandem nicht zu übereinstimmen, aber man muss vorsichtig dabei sein.
And in nowadays, we have a lot of leaders that are not appointed by God, but they behave like they were appointed by God.
Heutzutage haben wir viele Führungspersönlichkeiten, die vielleicht nicht von Gott erwählt wurden, aber die doch so tun, als wären sie es.
So that's why I'm saying we need to be careful with this principle.
Deswegen meine ich, müssen wir vorsichtig sein mit diesem Prinzip.
How would you say that you could figure out if a leader was appointed by God or not?
How can we figure out? Okay, how we get leadership in Bible? We get together, we pray, and God speaks, right? God speaks, and if people heard they heard from God, this is right. So we know that that's from God.
Viel wählen wir Leiter in Jocham aus, nun Leute kommen zusammen und beten und hören was von Gott. Und wenn Gott gesagt hat, derjenige oder die Gruppe von Personen soll Leitung sein, dann ist das von Gott.
For example, in Kiev a few years ago, we had a conflict on the base.
In Kiew hatten wir vor ein paar Jahren einen Konflikt im Zentrum.
We got our leadership new leadership in 2011.
Denn wir haben eine neue Leitung in unserem Zentrum bekommen in 2011.
Of course, their way of leading the base was different from the previous leaders.
Und natürlich war die Art, wie sie das Zentrum geleitet haben, anders als die des bisherigen Leiters.
And everybody was praying and knew that they are the right people for this position.
Aber alle hatten zusammen gebetet und gespürt, dass die richtigen Leute für diese Position sind.
But at the end, some people didn't like their way of leading the base.
Aber dann kam es so, dass manche Leute nicht so gut damit konnten, wie sie das Zentrum geleitet haben.
They were complaining, they were writing letters to higher leadership.
Sie haben sich darüber beschwert, sie haben auch Briefe geschrieben oder E-Mails an Leute, die weiter oben in der Leitung waren.
So we got a big division on the base.
Und das führte zu einer großen Spaltung im Zentrum.
And we lost half of our staff.
Und wir haben die Hälfte unserer Mitarbeiter verloren.
From more than 70 staff, we came to less than 30.
Von über 70 Mitarbeitern ging es runter auf weniger als 30.
But now we are growing.
Aber jetzt sind wir wieder am Wachsen.
Okay, so I mean situations like this. Okay.
Ich meine also solche Situationen.
But in other example, we have one moment. Okay, we have a huge church in Kiev, charismatic church.
Aber um ein anderes Beispiel zu geben, wir haben eine riesige charismatische Gemeinde in Kiew.
And the leader, maybe you heard about him, Sunday Adelaja. He's from Nigeria.
Der Leiter kommt aus Nigeria, der heißt Sunday Odilaja.
In the beginning of 2000s, that was the biggest church in Europe.
Beginn des Jahrtausends war das die größte Gemeinde in Europa.
It looked like he is like the second Messiah because he was that good.
Und manchen schien es so, als wäre er so der zweite Messias, weil er einfach wirklich gut war.
Like an appointed leader from God, doing everything right.
Jemand, der scheinbar von Gott eingesetzt war, der auch alles richtig machte.
But as more his
Personality cult.
yeah, it became a personality cult. Yeah, and at the end, he was involved in many like bad things.
Aber das Ganze entwickelte sich hin zu einem Persönlichkeitskult und es kam am Ende raus, dass er in viele schlechte Dinge verwickelt war.
With money, with women,
Was Geld anging, mit Frauen.
he convinced more than 40 women to sleep with him because this way they will get revelation and purification.
Er hat über 40 Frauen überzeugt, mit ihm zu schlafen, weil sie dadurch Offenbarung und Reinigung erfahren würden.
And with money, the church began to look like organizations. So many people were encouraged to bring money to the church because they were promised bigger dividends. But they lost everything with crisis, and nobody gave the money back.
Und die Gemeinde wurde immer mehr wie eine Organisation aufgebaut, wie ein Unternehmen, und Leuten wurde versprochen, dass sie gute Dividenden bekommen, wenn sie ihr Geld dahin gaben. Aber dann kam eine Krise und die Leute haben nichts von ihrem Geld
Families
jemals
lost
wiedergesehen.
their homes,
Und Familien
their
haben
savings,
ihr Zuhause verloren dadurch, ihre Ersparnisse.
and there were many of them who finished with the suicide.
Viele Leute haben sogar Selbstmord begangen als Resultat des Ganzen.
So we don't want leadership like that.
Wir wollen solche Leitung nicht haben.
So at the other hand, my principle, or what we can learn, that if you're appointed by God, if you know that you've got responsibility, you better do everything right.
Also im Prinzip, was wir daraus ziehen können, ist, wenn Gott dich für eine Aufgabe auserwählt hat, dann achte darauf, dass du es auch richtig von Gott aus gesehen richtig machst.
Because then, otherwise you put God's name and what everything He is doing into vain. You kind of, I cannot find the word in English. So you are using God's name in a bad way.
Misrepresented.
Yeah.
Sonst ziehst du Gottes Name in den Schmutz.
Rocky had a question.
Yeah, so I've heard things like this, like where a congregation of people comes together and they're praying for something like a leadership or something, and half the congregation hears one thing, and half the congregation thinks they hear another thing.
Okay, so then they need to come to, what is this word, consensus? No. The word.
An agreement, yeah,
Agreement,
consensus.
yeah. Then they need to come to agreement. If they agree with this, then it's fine.
Dann müssen sie weitermachen, bis sie irgendwie eine Übereinstimmung haben, bis sie alle damit leben können, und dann ist es gut.
Okay.
If God is giving them a leader, then why is there like two opposing sides? Why is there confusion?
That's a good question. I think that we will always have a position. God's people will always have a position. And in one hand, it's even good, so they would not become proud.
Warum würde Gott das erlauben, dass zwei Gruppen von Personen unterschiedlich der Meinung sind, was sie von Gott gehört haben, und vielleicht damit, wer immer nachher der Leiter ist, nicht stolz wird?
So they need to be humble and not to get a lot of pride in their success of ministry.
Sie demütig bleiben und nicht zu viel auf ihren Erfolg im Dienst bauen.
And with this pastor, Sunday Adelaja, I think he was appointed by God, but he gets so proud of himself.
Bei diesem Pastor, ich glaube, der war wirklich von Gott erwählt zunächst, aber dass er sehr stolz wurde.
Well, I don't think it's an American term, but there's a term in English that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think that's very true for man. I don't think it's true for God, because and I think a lot of people reflect that to God, which I think is wrong, because they're looking at God as if he's a human. But I do think that does apply to humans, and I think that's probably why God appoints different leaders throughout time, so it's not just one guy, because we're all flawed and we all, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Can I say something quick to Brock's example of a church that is divided? I mean, on one hand, like in Wyman, when we're praying over something, a decision like that, you cannot just ignore the half. It's not an election, we do pray until we feel peace. And that's when you're gonna go forward together in a good way. And of course, not every decision has to be made by a whole church, democratically. You don't always need to ask every member of the church, who would you like to be the leader? And then have 100 people all vote. That's not how it needs to be, of course, but I think that would be a situation where you'd have to continue the process. And maybe God wants to, and listening to him and hearing him.
Okay, we need to finish now because it's 12:30 already. So we will continue with reporting tomorrow.
Wir machen morgen früh weiter mit unseren Berichten, weil es ist jetzt tatsächlich schon Mittagspause. Es wird schon Mittagessen.
And you can write down your questions and we can, or you can approach me and we will have conversation.
Ich würde euch also bitten, wenn ihr noch Fragen habt, dann schreibt die bitte auf für morgen früh oder kommt auf mich zu und wir können uns darüber unterhalten.
Thank you so much for your work.
Vielen Dank für eure Arbeit.
Have a nice the rest of the day.
Und habt einen schönen restlichen Tag.
So we're come to Hurlach DBS. Oh no, didn't they tell you? Yes. Not in here, please. Just quarter for
As usual.
Hawaii.
It's the coffee.
Where we were yesterday.
Also,